the guitar is one of the few instruments, along with the piano, that fits into almost every genre.
I like doing classical music because it feeds like the academic side of me. Like, I've always really liked school, and I've always really liked music, and I don't know, there's something like right and left brainy about doing classical music that I really like it.
I've been playing like pop and rock music, and in high school I had a really great teacher who also studied classical and showed me some classical. So I wanted to take that more seriously, and I really liked the music. So I knew, like, in high school that I wanted to pursue classical.
By the time I was a senior in high school, I basically knew that I wanted to study and pursue music. So I auditioned as a guitarist at Purchase, and I was basically divided between here and Brooklyn College. And before I even did the second audition, I got accepted into Purchase, and that's what I've been doing for these past 3 years.
%90 of the population can name like 2 classical guitarists, you know, tops, I think, anyways. So it's like, it's such a niche thing that we're doing in the first place that, you know, I think immediately going into it, personally, I have to set aside any qualms I have about like not being famous one day, or, you know, anything like that, or making a ton of money doing this.
I think you have to be pretty creative if you're studying music and you're leaving to hopefully be a musician as a profession. Of course, there's like teaching, and, you know, I guess pop is more writing and putting your material out there. In classical, we play a lot of things that are written already, but a lot of people fall under like the teaching umbrella as like to pay the bills kind of thing. Performing is definitely trickier to have that as a substantial career.
No matter who you are, I think you would benefit from learning something about music in an academic setting. I was lucky enough to have a great teacher, Tommy Reyna, who introduced me to the rudiments of jazz and classical guitar as well. While I was growing as a musician, I had explored both, and by the time I was doing college auditions, I had fallen in love with classical guitar, the repertoire, and the meticulousness it takes to pursue that kind of thing.
And, you know, if you want to like do it on your own, and maybe there's some fields that it works better for, but I think for what I'm doing and for who I am and the teacher that I had, it was like a really great fit, and I've been able to take a lot. And it's also like what you take from it. You can show up and sit through every class, but you have to apply it as well, you know.
Well, I'm sure machines will serve their purpose, and I'm sure they'll sound pretty convincing. I still think there are certain things that a machine won't be able to compensate for, like artistic interpretation and impulse, things that machines just can't do. So I don't feel scared.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever I go to see some like great classical musician and they like play their pieces or whatever and everybody claps, you're not just clapping for the piece that they just played, you know, you're clapping, you're applauding all of the hours of practice, you know, they put in, and all of the work that they've done, and you're applauding their careers as a whole, and, you know, their accomplishments. And, you know, it's not just about the one piece that you just saw.
And I think you're also applauding, you know, the knowledge it takes to execute a performance like that, you know. There's a lot to it.